Hello, hello. Is everyone there? It's me, Bethany. Welcome to Bethline. Um, I see here no one's listening. So I'm gonna take a second. Hello. Hi. Okay, there we go. I see people. Hello. 4 p.m. It's Bethany. Welcome to Bethline. Hi. Welcome to my second episode of my quarantine talk show, Bethline. I am sitting here, as always, in my very high tech kitchen nook, my studio space. I am joined by my co host, Josie the Rescue Pup, and the infamous Snacks, the famous internet cat. Um, I don't know why I get so nervous before I do this. It's so funny that I'm like just such a weird, nervous person when my job is to literally entertain and be in front of people. But here I am. All right. So this week, I'm going to try and stick to a bit of a format. I did some planning over the week, and I'm going to try to keep this thing to about an hour. I have a little schedule in front of me. I'm going to try to stick to it. We shall see how that goes because I am a big talker, as some of you know. So we'll see if I can stick to the schedule. So since last week and now, let me just give you a quick little update of what I did. First of all, I want to say happy April. It's the 1st of April, you guys. It's April Fool's Day, but I will not play a prank on you because that would be fully cruel given the circumstances of the world right now. Um, I wanted to quote myself. I quoted myself on Twitter today. There's a lyric from a song off of Best Coast's album, The Only Place. The song's called Last Year, and my lyric is, what a year this day has been and what a day this year has been. And I feel like that is just the most fitting thing because I can't believe that we made it through March and now we're here in April. And God knows how long April will feel. But you know what? One day at a time. That's all we can do, right? Truly, that's it. Um, so anyway, since last weekend now, let me tell you all the cool, exciting things I've accomplished. I did my first jigsaw puzzle, a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. I am 33 years old and I have never done a jigsaw puzzle before. Isn't that crazy? I'm sure as a kid I did like the real easy ones, but I've never as an adult done a jigsaw puzzle. So that was big for me. I finished Tiger King, which I wasn't I'm just going to be honest, I wasn't super impressed by it. I didn't really care for it that much. Um, I don't know if I believe that Carol fed her husband to the tigers. I don't really know. I didn't have too many feelings. It was entertaining, but I know everybody's obsessed with it, and I can't relate to the obsession. I didn't care as much as it seems everybody else does. But anyway, it was a good week. It was a good week. I made it. Here I am. I'm excited to be here. It's very fun to hang out with you guys every week. So thanks for showing up. Um, I also developed a new little segment in the show that I am calling Quick Cues. And essentially, what it is at the top of the show, I'm going to answer 3 quick questions that I get via email. The email for this radio show is askbethline@gmail.com. So if you want to submit questions for me to answer next week, you can go ahead and do that, and I will check it and answer your questions. So I picked 3 questions for today, and I'm going to just go for it. So question number 1 is from Mallory G, and Mallory says, I thought I'd ask you a positive non-COVID related question to lighten the mood. Here goes. Are you a fan of Harry Potter? And if so, what house would you be in? I actually just the other day told my friend that I thought I wanted to rewatch all the Harry Potter movies. I've seen them all, but I haven't seen them in like years. And I've never read the books, but it's witch-based, so of course I like it. I'm definitely Slytherin because I'm a Scorpio, and Slytherin is like dark and mystical, and that's what Scorpios are. So that's the house that I belong in. My second question is from Cynthia T. And Cynthia T says, Hi, Bethany. Who is your favorite Sopranos character and why? My favorite Sopranos character is definitely Adriana Lacerva. I love a leopard print wearing sassy New Jersey queen, and I really feel for her that she had to put up with Christopher Moltisanti's bullshit because he seems like a very difficult person to date. And then my last question, which is a really good segue into today's topic, is from Sharon H. And Sharon's question is, what are some of the ways you stay present? So I guess I didn't ever announce it, but I'm starting to do topics for the radio show, and today's topic is going to be mental health. So I picked that question because it felt like a really good transition into that topic. It's interesting because with everything that's going on in the world, the way in which I'm staying present is changing so much. Like I'm kind of finding new ways to do exactly that, whether it's going for a walk or going out to my backyard and eating my lunch out there and sort of just paying attention to my surroundings, whether it's like birds chirping or lemons on the tree or the tree swaying in the wind, like whatever it is, it's like I'm trying to just pay attention to things outside of myself because I find that when I can get out of self is when I tend to feel a bit like more rooted and feel a bit more connected to the present moment. So that's sort of like a big thing for me right now is just getting outside of the house, in like the safest ways that I can during all of this social distancing stuff. If you guys are capable of going outside during this time, and I mean seriously, like safely, I'm not suggesting you go and do crazy stuff out there. If you have the ability to like get out on a balcony or go for a walk with a pet or even just by yourself, like that's a really, really good way to stay present. And it's really helping me these days. So with that being said, I'm going to now let you know who the guest is. If you've seen any of the announcement posts that I've made this week, I'm really excited about today's guest. Her name is Arianna Madix. She is on my favorite reality TV show of all time, Vanderpump Rules. She also co-authored a cocktail book called Fancy AF Cocktails with her partner, Tom Sandoval. And she's also just a really, really rad person and a really sweet girl and someone I consider a friend. She was also in the music video for Everything Has Changed, the Best Coast music video. And she's also very outspoken about dealing with mental health issues. She talks very openly about her depression on Vanderpump Rules. And she's somebody that I really look up to. I think when we think of reality TV, we don't really think of people talking about very serious life issues. I think a lot of times people sort of disregard reality TV and they think like, oh, it's trash and, it's whatever. I disagree. I think it's a really interesting form of entertainment. Sorry, there are some motorcycles cruising by my home right now that I would imagine are loud because they're loud in here. But I love reality TV. For me, it's a way to get out of my head. And I also think it's really cool that they talk about important shit on some of these shows. And Vanderpump is one of those shows. So I'm going to call Arianna and have her come in. I'm going to ask her a couple of questions. And remember that this little chat box that's going here that you guys can see, remember that I can see a lot of these questions and these comments that you're saying. So if you have anything you want me to ask Arianna, or if you have anything that you want to ask her, you can go ahead and put it in the chat box and I'll try to get that question to her. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to call her. Oh, good. Someone says the motorcycles are not so loud. I told her I was going to call her at like 4:15. See, I'm not so good at sticking to the schedule. Well, maybe I'll wait a second and ask. I'll answer one of these questions. Bethany, did you watch Love is Blind? 100% I watched Love is Blind. We watched it on tour. It was like our favorite thing on tour. We watched it backstage a lot. And that show is bananas, bonkers, crazy. Just wow. What a show. Let's see if there's anything here. I went down the Jersey Shore rabbit hole. Same. Love Jersey Shore. Love an Italian Guido. This person says, is anyone else tired of eating chips? I actually haven't been eating that many chips. Are you a Jessica? No, I am not a Jessica. Oh my God. Jessica is so Jessica is cuckoo. Jessica could probably benefit from listening to this show about mental health. I think that girl is sadly struggling. I feel for her. Big, big, big good vibes to Jessica today. I wonder how Jessica is in these quarantine times. I wonder if she's feeding her dog wine still. All right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna call Ariana. I'm sure she's not super busy, as we all kind of aren't right now. But anyway, give me 1 second. I'm gonna call her and ask her a couple questions. And remember that I can see your questions in here. And yeah, 1 sec.
Hello.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm 5 minutes early. I'm not good at sticking to a schedule.
I'm not good at sticking to a schedule either, but I'm usually the other way around.
Oh, like you're late?
Yeah.
I'm usually late too, but I don't know. Weirdly, I mean, it's like, how do you stick to a schedule in this time? What even is a schedule? I don't know.
You don't exactly. What is time? What is space? What is life?
What is life? Truly, what is life? Well, thank you for talking to me. I'm stoked to have you on, and I'm excited to talk to you about this topic in general. I know I texted you a couple weeks ago and was telling you how I'm really proud of you for talking about such a intense issue on a show like yours. I think it's really, I look up to you and think it's rad that you do that. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you so much for saying that. It's
You're welcome.
It is such a weird thing to talk about in general.
Yeah.
Because you're we're all just trying to do our thing and make that money
Mm-hmm.
and live, and then to be oh, but by the way, this is also going on is kind of weird and a whole thing. But yeah, and then to do it on a show is also it's definitely a weird experience at the time. Because then I also worry about that once you talk about it once, that then it will be the only thing that defines you forever in that world.
Yeah.
And so then it's shit.
Yeah. I mean, I struggle with that because it's and I remember telling you this when I texted you, it's when this band first started, my persona was very much just this very angsty, depressed person. And I don't feel like that person anymore. And so it's hard to lose that because it sort of becomes a part of who you are and what you do. So I relate to that. But, I do think that what I said, it's you're discussing it on a platform like yours is so important because I think that there are a lot of people, not to stereotype the Bravo watchers, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are sitting around watching Vanderpump Rules that don't really understand depression, and maybe don't understand it in a way. And so I think it's the more you discuss it, the less taboo it becomes. And so I think it's really cool that you do it in your way and that you do it in a way that works for you. I wanted to ask you, do you feel that discussing it for you, does it help you, or does it sort of become a thing where you're fuck, I wish I never talked about this?
I feel like it does help me in a way because it takes some of the pressure off of having to be everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's maybe not a day where it's not fine,
mm-hmm.
having people be well, what's wrong with you today?
Yeah.
And so it takes a little bit of that pressure off of just being look, this is something that's kind of in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I talk about it, it almost becomes, not to say that I'm putting that burden on other people, because I feel like that's part of why it's hard to talk about a lot, is you don't want to burden other people, but you almost kind of share this piece of knowledge or whatever, and from there you can all kind of collectively deal with it a little
mm-hmm.
bit better.
Totally. Yeah, it's educating people by way of being vulnerable, which is terrifying. That's basically what that's basically what I do with my music is I'm just so raw and vulnerable. And I oftentimes am just like, I hope this is helping somebody, but also sometimes I'm like, fuck, this is really scary and there's no going back from it. So I relate to that. How are you
Yeah.
how are you tending to your mental health through all of this? Like, do you have any like advice for people? Are you doing any do you have any routines? Like, what's up with you right now?
I have therapy once a week, and so like that's like
Same.
what
That
they
is
say
so
like
helpful.
non-essential, whatever. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
my one essential thing that I do every week.
Yeah.
Um, so that is something that is staying going, but now that's become like that is like really the only time I leave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's so funny because in the beginning of this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like try to use this time wisely and create activities and projects for myself. And now I just feel like I don't want to.
Yeah.
And someone asked me on Instagram yesterday, they asked me like, how are you staying positive? And I was like, honestly, I don't want to say how I'm staying positive because maybe I'm not staying positive.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel like I have to be positive
Yep.
during this.
Yeah. No,
So I was like, you know
yeah.
what? I'm not, maybe. Sometimes I feel like, okay, today is a good day to work out. And sometimes that's just not that day. And, like I've actually started getting a little, I do know that, social connection is important and I do miss my friends and stuff, but I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, can everybody just leave me the fuck alone? Like, I don't want to do a Zoom happy hour with anybody. I don't want to do a game night online. I don't want to do, like, I just kind of want to sit in this for like a sec
Yeah.
and
Yep.
not feel like I have to replace going to a bar with a virtual bar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just kind of like, so it's been a little all over the place, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Which I think is
Um,
like how everybody feels. Like, I don't think there's anybody out there that's dealing with this in like the right way or any one way. It's like, I literally wake up
yeah.
some days and I'm like, this is cool, whatever, it's fine. I'll like sit outside and read a book. I'll like take the dog for a walk. I'll do this. And then like 2 hours go by and I'm like still in bed. Like, what? Like, okay, I guess that's just like what I'm doing
Yeah.
today. But you're a
Yeah, at
Cancer,
night I
right?
get like grandiose ideas of things I'm gonna do,
Same. And
and
then it
then
just, yeah,
like,
it's fine.
no,
Wait, you're a Cancer, right? That's your sign?
I am, yes.
Yeah, I'm a Scorpio. So it's like we're water signs, and I feel like both of our signs are very like we like to kind of be by ourselves and do our own thing. So I've been struggling with this too because it's like I literally like half of my day is spent like on FaceTime with people, and I'm like, I love this. It's great to
Mm,
connect with my friends, but also like there comes a point where I'm like, okay, I just want to like turn the phone off and watch TV. Like I just want to be full
yeah.
alone.
Yeah, I've been using the like do not disturb feature a lot.
Yes.
Um, because it's just, yeah, I mean, I do actually thrive in solitude a
Hmm.
lot. And so there has been moments where it's like we're probably just like this is, other than the circumstances of how this is, like sometimes they're like this is great.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
also FaceTime is my worst nightmare. I hate the front camera. It distorts the way people's faces look, and I'm
Me too.
so over opening up that front camera and feeling like Quasimodo. I'm just not into it.
My therapist, like the first week that this all went down, my therapist told me like, because I told her I hate FaceTime, and she's like, well, that's because it's the most intimate way of talking to somebody. Like it's such a like box of your face, and it's like you're constricted to this one specific space, and she's like it's hella intimate. I was like, I never thought of it being that way because it is such a like distant way of communicating, but like it is wildly intimate. And I'm with you, like every time someone calls me, I'm like all I can do is stare at myself in the corner, or I'll be on like a work meeting and I'm like over here like fixing my hair and I'm like, oh, that's not a good angle. Like, yeah, it's a lot on the brain.
It's the worst.
It is kind of
It's
the
the
worst.
worst.
I also wanted to ask you about your cocktail book. When I saw you when we did the video, it like wasn't out yet. I think you and Tom like showed me like it was about to
Oh
come
yeah.
out, and like what are you like, because you were doing like a book tour, right? And did any of that get like
Yeah.
postponed, or like what's up with
No,
that?
I mean, we still do press with it and stuff, but we were
Mm-hmm.
done doing like, at least the tour in the sense of like what, like the traditional sense.
Yeah.
The only thing that was a bit of a bummer is we were starting to get into doing these like cocktail parties that we did one in San Francisco. It was super fun. And then that, it's going to have to be on the back burner for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so crazy that was the last time. It feels like yesterday that we shot that music video.
I know.
And power went out and everything.
The power went out. That was like
oh
truly.
my God. Have you told people about that story? Because that was wild.
I did. I did a couple of interviews where I talked about that, but just for people that are listening, when we made the Everything Has Changed video, it was like the one day of the year where there was like some psycho storm in LA, and like the power at the studio like fully went out, and there was no power for like several hours. Like it wasn't like a 30-minute power's back on. It was like at least 2 hours with no power.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad because I had like asked you guys to do this thing, and I was just like, oh my God, like we can't even do it. And everyone's just like, that was like a truly, somebody asked me a question earlier in the show where they were asking me like, what are ways you stay present? And that was like a day where it was like, I was struggling so fucking hard to like stay present. Cause I was like, why is this happening? Like, why did this
and you had to jump back in and like perform too.
It was bonkers, but it turned out so good. And like, I'm so stoked that you guys were in
we all turned it out. Like you killed it. And then you guys doing like the way that everybody just kind of adapted to the situation was amazing.
Yeah. It was a classic, like handed over the universe fucking works in mysterious ways kind of way. But
yeah.
So are you like, I saw you were like doing like cute TikTok videos of like cocktails and stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. So that was like, okay. So yeah, the book came out. It was like a huge, which was like so cool how big of a success it was. It was at like every bestseller list except for the ones where they don't base it on sales numbers.
Yeah.
So any list that had to do with selling the most, we were up there. And then there were some really amazing like write-ups and stuff. Like honestly, just like the reception of it was like not what I expected. I just kind of, I don't know. I always keep my expectations low, so it blew us away.
That's so
regard.
cool.
And then afterwards, it was like I saw a lot of people saying, that they wanted to make drinks from it, but they were intimidated by how.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I started doing TikToks because, I figured if I can just like go through all these drinks in our book and throw it together on a TikTok, and then people can see that it's not as scary as maybe it seems when you're reading about how to muddle or shake or anything like that.
Yeah. TikTok is such a confusing platform to me. Like, are you into it?
I love it.
Do you? I feel like whenever I see people on TikTok, I'm like, this is cool and seems like fun. And it seems like a fun way to like exist on social media. But I'm just like, I don't know if I can do it.
I was a long time lurker.
Oh, really?
Before I ever posted anything. So I made an account and I would just like scroll through videos for forever. And there's just so much on there that's all different. And the way that your feed works, is their algorithm is really well curated. So like it follows anything you like with certain hashtags or types of videos. So I've been able to curate my main feed to be cats, funny old people, and like stay away from like stuff that I think is annoying. So like I've really just like, it's an amazing space. I really love it. Cool. It's so fun.
Maybe TikTok is like for hours. TikTok sounds like it's maybe a better thing than like Twitter or Instagram right now, since you can curate it yourself. Because I'm like struggling with some of the social media stuff right now, because it's just like, I mean, speaking of mental health, it's just like seeing some of it is just sends my anxiety to like a 1,000. So maybe I should get in. Maybe I should just become a TikTok lurker.
You should, just lurk for a while, no pressure, and then see how you feel, see what you're into. I agree with you about social media being like a not necessarily a great place for mental health. TikTok I have found to be a very positive space. Instagram can be a little bit of here and there. Twitter can be here and there, but I figured I deleted the Twitter app off my phone in February because my therapist was talking to me about like $100 behavior versus $1,000 behavior versus like $100,000 behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, so, when you're spending time doing something, ask yourself, is this in the $100,000 category or is this like in the dollar category? And I was like, well, TikTok. I was like, well, Twitter's actually in like the $0 category.
Yeah.
Like there's no business opportunity that I have from Twitter. It's really just kind of like bums me out. So
yeah, that's so interesting.
So I said goodbye to it.
I have to do that sometimes with Twitter. Like I have to, because it's just like, it's so insane that people can just, I mean, it's just crazy that people can spit anything at you at any time on the internet. But like Twitter in particular, especially because it's such a like place with like it's like basically where everybody gets their news now. And there's just like so much happening. It's like I've had to really pull back during this whole situation because I'll go on there and I'll see something like sweet and heartwarming and then followed by like some crazy Trump thing or some crazy thing. And I'm just like, nope, like I feel like shit again. So it's like, it's really like, it's not the best one, but that's good to know that TikTok is like positive for mental health because now I'm like, great, sign me up. I'll get on TikTok. I can't promise I'm going to start doing like dances, but I'll definitely get it and lurk.
Well, you have great animal inspiration around you.
That's true.
Like,
maybe I should just put them on TikTok. Maybe that's where I like build their brand is on TikTok.
That would be really great. I actually think that's a genius idea.
Well, you might be hearing from me soon with a TikTok follow request. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate you taking the time. And seriously, I mean what I say. Like, it's so cool to see you be yourself on a show like Vanderpump Rules and like just know that people all over like look up to you and are thankful that you talk about the shit that you do.
Well, thank you so much. And
You're welcome.
For having me.
Of course.
So nice.
Yeah.
Human connection.
I know. I love it. Let's go to the Americano when this shit goes away.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Yes. Arianna, the best of the best. All right. Well, that was fun. Thank you guys for listening to that portion with Arianna. If you guys are not familiar with Arianna Maddox, she is, as I said before, she is one of the stars of Bravo's Vanderpump Rules. She recently put out a cocktail book called Fancy AF Cocktails. She's just such a down-to-earth, like really, really cool woman and somebody that I'm really stoked to have in my life. And to get to see her on TV and to do what she does is just like, it's really cool. She's a very special person. So you can follow Arianna on all the socials. It's Arianna252525 on Instagram. And then I believe her Twitter is Arianna2525, but it sounds like she's kind of steering clear of Twitter these days. And then her TikTok, I don't know, but it seems like she's all about the TikTok life. So maybe this is the thing that's going to inspire me to get on TikTok. But I will not be doing dances. Please, if I get on there, just know that that's not happening. But maybe the pets will make it on. All right, it is now about 4:30, so I'm going to open up the call line and I'm going to take some calls from listeners. Just remember, if you are listening to the show on a computer, or I think if you're on your phone, you're okay. But if you're listening on a computer or any device where the sound comes out, please mute the show, so that when I answer your call, there's not a bunch of feedback. And today's topic is mental health. So if you wouldn't mind trying to steer your questions towards that topic, that would also be really great. So I'm going to open the line. And as soon as I do, you will see the number pop up and you'll be able to call me. And I will take questions for about the next 20 minutes or so. All right? Okay, let's do this. All right. The fan line is now open. You can call me at 205-736-3201 and I can talk to you. This person says, "Are you talking about me again? Hit that mute button." Oh, maybe you're the one last week. No, don't worry. It's a lot of people are having issues with the mute. It's fine. It's like when you're on a Zoom meeting or a work call and everyone is talking at the same time, you just got to mute it. All right, the line is open. So I will just wait here until somebody calls and then I'll pick up. I'm not seeing any calls, but I'll just wait patiently. Patience is a virtue, as I'm being taught these days in quarantine. Is anybody? Oh, we have a call. Let's answer. Hello, this is Bethany.
Hi, Bethany. This is Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. How's it going?
It's going really good. I'm not really depressed at the moment,
Oh, I'm
and it's
glad.
kind of sunny outside.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I funny story.
Uh
My girlfriend lives in Chicago,
huh.
and I came here like 2 weeks ago. I was on my way back to Michigan from LA, and I stopped in Chicago to see my girlfriend and go to a concert to see my friend's band play.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I want to say, March 12th.
Okay.
And that was the day when everything kind of fell apart, like
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So I went to that show and I found out that my friends were canceling the rest of their tour. And I was actually supposed to see you in Detroit the next
Aw.
day,
And
and
then
it
that
didn't
show got
happen.
canceled. Yeah, I know. It
Yeah,
was a bummer.
yeah,
It was a huge
yeah.
bummer. But
All right.
we're coming back in I think we'll be back in like September or October.
Yeah.
So
Oh, don't worry, I'll be there.
okay, sick. Sick, sick. I'm glad. I'm glad. Well, do you have a question for me about mental health today?
Yeah. Well, so I actually wrote an essay about, I guess, kind of a revisiting of Crazy for You, like
Mm-hmm.
after 10 years, because that's where I became a fan of Best Coast. And like, I went to Lollapalooza in 2011, and it rained so bad that I missed you guys. So I've been trying to see you
Oh.
for like 10 years.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. And so coronavirus ruined my chance of finally seeing you after 10 years, but I'm still gonna do it though. I'm still
Cool.
gonna see you.
Corona has ruined a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let it ruin, our plans though. We're gonna meet each other. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it's
we
gonna happen.
will. We will.
Um, but yeah, so that's an album that I like to revisit a lot because it like I relate to it really easily just based on how my own like mental health issues kind of manifest in my relationships.
Mhm.
And there have been times where like I've made really poor decisions in relationships because, I just wasn't taking care of myself. There
Mhm.
have been times that I over focused on someone else because I wasn't prioritizing my own needs and my own well being. And even though like there's a lot of, you know, I I wish my cat could talk and, I wish that shit wasn't so lame right now. Like I always get a lot of positivity from listening to it, um, because like it's so relatable. It's like, oh yeah, I remember being there before, and now it's better. And
Mhm.
so I wanted to ask, like, after 10 years, like, and all the things that you've been through, like, when you think about that album, like, how do you reflect on Crazy for You, and how you felt then compared to how you feel now?
It's actually really funny because when I listen to that album or even when I perform songs from that album, I hear the lyrics and I hear the stuff that I was talking about and I think at the time like I had no idea that I was as like unhappy and angsty and like anxious and depressed as I was. I really didn't. I was like very young. I was pretty detached from shit. And listening back on it now, I hear it and I'm like, "Damn, like I was not doing so good." And so
Mm,
it's very interesting to be in the place that I am now because I don't feel any of that stuff at all anymore. And through a lot of growth work, I've learned to sort of just have compassion for that person. And I can listen to those songs and I can perform those songs now and not feel like, oh God, what an annoying little brat. I can just be like, aw, poor like 21, 22-year-old Bethany. Like she was really going through it. So for me, like it's interesting. Like I've gotten a lot of therapy sort of like through my own music, the way in which fans tell me they've gotten it. So it's really cool and special for me to listen back to that stuff and to be like, wow, I'm really proud of myself. I worked through that shit. So it's like a time capsule for me of a different time in my life.
right.
So
That's beautiful. I'm
thank
so glad I got to hear
you.
that answer.
Thank you. Well, thank you for calling and I'll see you in Detroit.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, next caller. Hello.
Bethany?
Hi, this is Bethany. Who's this?
Hey, this is Encore. It's so nice to talk to you.
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, nice. How is it out there?
It's not too bad. I'm from New York, but I came down here because came down here 3 weeks ago. I should clarify, because my parents are here,
Oh, that's
and
good.
there's just like a little more space.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of writing it out here.
That's good. That's good to be around family.
Yeah, I think so.
What's
My
your
question for
question?
you? So I'm a creative. I write fiction, and I've been finding this period to be a little confusing because on one hand, it's like there's all of this time and space to be inside and do work,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the other hand, I find that I can't get into any kind of creative mode at all. And I was just wondering if you felt similar things among like people you talk to, or if you felt that way.
Yeah.
It's just hard to like create anything right now.
Yes. Like 1,000,000,000%. I just did an interview yesterday with a radio a guy up in Toronto, and he was saying that he feels the same way. And I was telling him that I heard a friend of mine say, I don't remember when, like all the days blur together, but recently she said something where she said, a pandemic is not a creative retreat. And when she said that, I wrote it down because I was like,
Right.
holy shit, that's so real. Because I think like
So true.
our brains think that, oh, free time, especially as creative people, right? Our brains think like free time, free space, we're supposed to create something, we're supposed to use this time. And I'm finding that like I don't really think that this is a time where like most people would feel creative. There's so much uncertainty, and
Mhm.
there's so many like question marks about this whole thing. And I think that my therapist said something to me last week where she said, however your brain is reacting to this and whatever you're doing in this time is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And so that is something that, along with the quarantine and pandemic is not a creative retreat, I'm trying to remember that line too, that like whatever you're doing is exactly what you should be doing. It's like we don't need to, we're not Shakespeare, unfortunately. We're not going to write King Lear. Like it's just not going to happen right now. It's like we
Right.
can't push ourselves. And I think for me as a person who like really struggled with a creative block over the last few years, like I learned through that you can't force creativity. You just kind of have to like let it come. So I know it sucks, and I know that you think that creativity would be the thing to like help you through this, but if it's not coming for you, it's totally fine. Don't be hard on yourself, and just like whatever you feel like you're capable of doing, that's all you should be doing.
Awesome. That's really good advice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye. Okay. Next caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going? Who is this? Where are you?
My name's Lucia, and I'm in Eagle Rock, California.
Oh, Eagle Rock.
Yes.
So close.
Yeah. So I have a question about mental health for you.
Okay.
Just what do you conceptualize as good mental health, and what are you aiming for?
Damn, that's a deep, good question. I mean, honestly, I think, listen, like I'm just trying to get out of bed in the morning. I'm just trying to like be able to put one foot in front of the other and like take the next indicated step. That's really my main goal in life, is to just be able to like really make it through a day. And I don't mean to say that and make it sound so bleak. It's like not like, oh, it's such a struggle to even get through a day, but it's like for me the thing that I've really had to learn is just like living in the present and being in the now, because it's like my brain is so capable of jumping 10,000 days ahead and going, well, what's it going to look like next year? And it's like, I can't go there. I have to really draw myself back. And I think that the album that we just put out, Always Tomorrow, is really about that exact thing. It's really about this idea of like learning to just accept things for how they are in that moment and in the day, and to just deal with it. And then you get to tomorrow. You know, that's kind of like my main thing right now, is just trying to like exist in today and try not to trip too hard on the future, which is literally the hardest thing to do. Like, it's so easy to say, just for today, just today, like, don't go there. But then we all know how like capable our brains are of like spinning out and going to the future. So that's really like my biggest thing, is just trying to like really stay in the present moment.
Right. And just with that, is there a question that you find annoying that people ask, in terms of like, you know, because I've heard sometimes people say it's more annoying when people say, how are you doing, versus how are you doing right now?
I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes, I mean, I'm one of those people where like I'm very easily, if I'm like in a mood, I'm easily like, if you check in on me and you're like, how are you? Like, I'm totally one of those people that's like, why are you checking in on me? I'm fine. Like, I'm so like, I want to be so like
Right.
hard and like defensive and be like, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But at the end of the day, it's like, I try to just like, especially right now during this period, like I'm trying to just learn to like allow people to be there for me, and to also learn how to be there for other people. And I think that like, I would say it's not really a question, but the thing that drives me the most crazy is when you're upset and somebody tells you to relax. Like, that's, nothing could be worse than that. Like,
Yeah.
never tell a person who's anxious or a person who's dealing with something to relax or let it go. It's the worst thing that you could say. So anybody that's listening, like, know that that is not the thing to tell a person who's going through something.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thank you for
Thanks
your
for
time.
calling me.
I love these, by the way. Keep
Oh,
doing
thank
them.
you. I'm going to. It's a really fun thing to do. So thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, next caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sierra, and I'm from Broomfield, Colorado.
Hi. What's your question for me?
My question is, how do you stay positive during this whole quarantine situation?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think right now something that's really helping me is taking it day by day, and also kind of also just taking it kind of like hour by hour. I'm trying to like set sort of like a schedule for myself. I bought this like magnetic sort of daily calendar off of Amazon. Sorry, I know everyone's mad at Amazon right now, as am I, but I needed to get it somehow. But it's on my fridge, and I just kind of every day like go to it and I write like a little task for myself, even if the task is as easy as like walk the dog today. Just sort of like setting things up for myself, because I think when there's too much sort of like dead air and open space, that's when our brains can kind of start to like get a little like kooky, you know? So I've just been trying to like really just go easy on myself and just be patient with myself, and to just remember like this isn't a normal time for any of us. So that's really what's helping me right now, is just sort of almost making like little to-do lists for myself.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that a lot, and now with the whole online school, because I'm in college, that's been helping a lot for me, like kind of staying on task.
That's good, like to have a schedule. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
that is definitely, and that's like, you know, just a little piece of advice to you and everybody else listening. Like, when I first got home from my tour, when my tour got canceled and postponed, like I called my therapist and I told her like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. And she was like, well, you're just going to create schedules for yourself. And even if those schedules contain like literally just like make tea at 3 p.m., like as long as you have something on the schedule, you'll make it through the day. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's like some days I'm like, I don't really want to do anything and I don't really have anything to do, but I try to just schedule something. Literally yesterday, I like reorganized my sock drawer and I was like, okay, that gave me something to do. You know, so.
Oh, I know. I was doing that today too.
I mean, listen, we got to do what we can in here, right?
Yep, that's true.
Well, thank you for calling.
Yeah, thank you for answering my question. It was so cool to talk to you.
Totally. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. All right. I have time for one more question. If one more person wants to call in, I can take one more question. Just a heads up so you guys know what the scene is like over here. Snacks is currently trying to walk all over my laptop where my little format for Bethline is. So Snacks has decided that he's now the producer of this show, apparently, and wants to step all over things. All right, here's a caller. Let's take this one. Hello.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jason calling from
Hi.
New York City.
Hi, Jason from New York City. How's it going?
You know, not too bad. Can't complain. I'm
that's
doing
good.
well enough to be listening to your show and calling in with a question.
Oh, good. Well, what's your question for me?
So my question is, when it comes to mental health, if you could make one kind of misconception that people have about it just disappear entirely, what would that be?
That's a good question. I think that for me, I think that everybody, how do I want to say this? I feel like I would just really want for people to understand that like mental health issues, depression, anxiety, it looks different for everybody. I think that there seems to be a bit of a misconception that like when you say you struggle with mental health, people assume that you mean like you're just a depressed person or you have, XYZ issues. But I think what it really is it's just like I said, it's so different for everybody. And I think that that is something that I would really like to sort of like break the cycle in, is just to remind everybody that everybody's mental health issues look different. I get anxiety over things that probably wouldn't give other people anxiety, and I can fall into a depression from something that might not make somebody else fall into a depression. It's like our brains are just such crazy things, and everybody's is different and everybody's is wired completely differently. So that's something that I would really like for people to understand, is that, just because somebody says they struggle with mental health stuff doesn't mean that it looks the very like dark, crazy way that it appears in like movies and stuff like that. So I guess that would be the main thing for me.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
saying
totally.
That. And, keep up like the show. It's really cool.
Thanks. I'm having a lot of fun.
Really cool.
So I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
Cool. Talk to you
All
later.
right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. All righty. Thank you guys for your questions. I'm going to close the line now. Okay. The fan line is now closed. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today on Bethline. I am really enjoying doing this. It's so much fun. And I get really nervous in the beginning, but then by the end of the show, I'm like, oh, this is easy. I could do this for like 4 more hours, but I am going to try to keep it to an hour per week. So yeah, just another really big shout out to Arianna Maddox from Vanderpump Rules for joining me today to talk about her mental health stuff. Oh God, Snacks is trying to get on the computer again. Thank you to all the people that called in. Thanks to all the readers submitted questions over the email. Before I end, I want to read you guys something from a book that I love. The book is called The Language of Letting Go, Daily Meditations on Codependency, and the author is Melody Beattie. She wrote a book called Codependent No More, which is like one of my favorite self-help books and one of my favorite books that sort of like kickstarted my mental health journey. If you don't consider yourself to be codependent, or you don't really even know what codependency is, that's okay. You can totally read the book. You would gain so much wisdom from it. So this book is, it's like a daily devotion kind of book. So every day of the week, there's a different quote. I read them every morning, or I try to read them every morning. Let's be honest. I don't always read them, but I try to. And I opened the one for today, and it felt really, really pertinent to the situation that's going on in the world, and also to the topic of this show, today's episode, which is mental health. So I wanted to read it to you guys, and then I'm also going to post a photo of it on my Instagram and my Twitter, so you guys can see it if you want to screenshot it and save it. I think it's a really good thing to read and remember. So today is April 1st, and this one is called Going Easy, and here it goes. Going easy. Go easy. You may have to push forward, but you don't have to push so hard. Go in gentleness. Go in peace. Do not be in so much of a hurry. At no day, no hour, no time are you required to do more than you can do in peace. Frantic behaviors and urgency are not the foundation for our new way of life. Do not be in too much of a hurry to begin. Begin, but do not force the beginning if it is not time. Beginnings will arrive soon enough. Enjoy and relish middles, the heart of the matter. Do not be in too much of a hurry to finish. You may be almost done, but enjoy the final moments. Give yourself fully to those moments so that you may give and get all there is. Let the pace flow naturally. Move forward. Start. Keep moving forward. Do it gently, though. Do it in peace. Cherish each moment. And again, that's from The Language of Letting Go, Daily Meditations on Codependency by Melody Beattie. Thank you guys. That I guess that's going to wrap it up for today. And I just really want to say to anybody that is listening, because it does seem like a common theme with all of us during this time, is to sort of feel like we need to be doing more. And that's why I wanted to read that, because a really big thing to remember right now is like, this isn't like a creative or inspiring time. You know, it's like there really is so much uncertainty happening in the world, and it's pretty scary. You know, it's pretty scary to like not really know what our lives are going to look like a month from now, where our income is going to come from, how we're going to get groceries, how people are going to pay rent. Like, it's really scary for a lot of people. So it makes a lot of sense that people aren't feeling super creative. And if you're looking at Instagram or Twitter and you're seeing people that are like, I keep joking with my friend, it's like I see things and I'm like, that person's doing quarantine better than me. It's like, that's not reality. Like, nobody's doing this better than you. Whatever you're doing and however you're handling this is exactly the way that you're supposed to. And if you're dealing with mental health issues, if you're dealing with depression or anxiety, please make sure to reach out to people. That's one of the biggest things that I do in my own mental health struggles is I just call people. I call friends. I reach out to people. Even doing this show is really helpful for me in getting out of my head and, you know, like tackling my anxiety. If you're able to do therapy, it makes me so sad that it's not accessible to everybody, but if you're able to find a therapist, if you have insurance, if it's something that you can make happen, therapy is such an amazing tool, and I really couldn't recommend it more. And so many therapists right now are doing FaceTime and teletherapy and all that stuff. So it's definitely still accessible while we're stuck in our homes. So with all of that being said, I just want to thank you again for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next week with a different guest and a different topic. I'm going to work on it. If you have any suggestions, comments, questions, concerns, you can email me at askbethline@gmail.com. And please remember to send in some quick cues, just some little short fun questions that I can answer at the top of every show. I'll answer 3 of those every week. And I will see you guys then. Take care of yourselves, stay indoors, wash your hands, don't touch your face, adopt a pet if you have the ability to, because they make this a lot easier. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good week.